Everybody out there has something that you will like. You know, I may favor CoverGirl's eyeshadow over MAC or whatever the case may be. You know, it's you can cater as far as what your pockets have to offer, and I will say that is good. Tonight I'm using Sephora mixed with MAC and some Mary Kay. So I mean, you don't have to stick to one thing, and we all know that MAC can be outrageous in prices. I think I purchased a lipstick and a liner, or a lipstick and a pigment, and walked out spending $45. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Sometimes one makeup line don't work for what you want to do. You got to, in conjunction, put, me learning about makeup more and more, you could put different stuff together to make it what you want, you know. So it's whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. So going into this look, I'm going to go ahead and use a little concealer over the eye to use as the primer. Again, this holds your color in all day, and if you want, you can take and use your brush or smear it with your fingers, just a little bit. You don't need a lot for this technique.
Okay. So it doesn't have to show up the exact color as your concealer.
Definitely not. Your the concealer, even if you use the concealer as a primer, the concealer is used to conceal those dark spots or those areas. I mean, these are multi-purpose makeup tricks that you can use per se. And if you can see any closer, that it's even covering some of those dark areas. But in this particular area, I'm using it as a primer to catch the shadow that we're going to apply here. And we're going to demonstrate the same thing on the other eye really quick. Want to smear it out. And you want to apply that over your entire lid to your brow.
You're using a different brush.
I am using a different brush.
Okay.
Yes, and this is what I was saying. It's all in the brush, in your hand stroke, and your technique. And if we could see the difference in these two brushes that I used here. Different angles, different material.
This looks more of an oil.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And this allows it to apply in a more smoother manner. See, just softer strokes. So now that we have the lid cover, we want to get into applying that smoky eye effect. And I'm going to switch up brushes on you again. Let's hold your arm up for me.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
A lot of people think smoky eye is really hard to achieve, but
not at all. It's actually one of the fastest ones to achieve, in my opinion. So, and as I said, we were going to go with a dark brown to maybe a black. So we're just going to cover the lid. As you can see, you're patting and kind of stroking it on there. And Marilyn, what are some of your favorite looks with makeup?
Honestly, you've always been my go-to person. So whatever you made, I honestly just got into the eye makeup thing. So I could tell you, for people out there who are just getting into makeup, don't put your smoky eye all the way underneath your eyebrow. That's the one thing that I started out with, and that you automatically think that's the smoky eye. But what's the difference? How high do you want to raise the color when you're applying it to the eyelid?
I would say definitely on the lid, the base of the eyelid, and perhaps slightly under. I don't know how well you can see that. Leaving that light tone where I applied some of the concealer to give you that arch of the brow.
Okay, I do see the difference.
Mm-hmm. And you're kind of just bringing it outward.
And actually, the concealer, if you look deeply, it actually plays as it is another eyeshadow color.
It is. And actually, on my look today on myself, the only thing I have under my brow is the concealer.
Okay, so what do you call that look? Is that a smoky eye too?
No, that's not so much a smoky eye, because I've kind of only went on the outer contour of my eyebrow and applied the brown shadow that I did tonight. Well, the difference is, in this look that I'm doing on her, I did not apply it under my entire lid. I just went on the outer corners for myself. Okay. So can we see the difference?
I do.
in that. And what I'm doing with this other brush that I picked up, I'm kind of just taking it and smoothing the colors out. You ever wonder, well, how do you see people's colors transitioning well into one another? It's all in the brush you use and how you're smoothing the colors out.
And what is that brush called?
Oh, child, you know what?
Just a blender brush.
There we go.
So, I noticed that you're stroking down. Before you started at the base of her eyelid, and now that you're blending, you're starting from the top.
That's right. We're working it outward, so it looks even.
Wow, look at it come along. So, Walter, how?
You had a question for Walter?
I did. I was getting ready to go into the, the effects makeup that y'all were talking about earlier. Would you start out with a basic smoky eye and then do your theatrical makeup on top of it, or?
Depending on the look you're going for. With theatrical makeup, unlike regular makeup, you're still definitely blending. You're definitely brushing, contouring, different things. Depending on how dramatic you're going, if you're doing a dramatic shadow if you're actually creating a complete different look on the face.
Okay.
A lot of times, the good thing about theatrical makeup, you don't necessarily always have to have it natural looking. That's clearly the biggest difference between everyday makeup, a smoky eye, a nice going out makeup, in comparison to a theatrical face. A theatrical face is clearly a theatrical face.
You want to stand out in 15, 30 minutes.
Right, yeah, you're definitely not going to be a quick face, but it is something where, as the artist, you can be empowered to break all the rules because it's your creation. Of course, now, if you're trying to create a look of maybe an animal, or you're trying to transition somebody into a particular thing, you definitely want to follow guidelines in reference to the character in which you're trying to put the person. But pretty much in reference to theatrical makeup, it's one of those things where you're a freelance artist. You're empowered to do whatever you need to do. The biggest thing is blending. Taking note to the facial shape in comparison to where you're beginning to where you're trying to go. Certain things, if you're going to get into the point where you're doing 3D makeup, where you're adding gems, where you may be using, there are different types of waxes out there they have now to resculpt and actually protrude the skin to actually create a whole nother facial structure. So things of that nature, as the artist, you have to be empowered to be creative. You definitely have to be a visual person, so that you can see your vision created, whether it's something that you've already kind of sketched out in your mind, or if it's something that you're creating as you go. That's the beauty of theatrical makeup.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. Manea's picking up foundation now.
Yeah, we're going to speed it up a little bit for the sake of time. Can you open for me?
Okay. So now we're just adding a little foundation to the skin?
That's right.
All right. Now, is there, anything that you would recommend for a foundation, something light, or?
I would definitely say you need to cater to your skin type. There are all kinds of foundations out there from the ultimate dry skin to your ultimate oily skin, such as what I have. There are different things. Some people you may find that they love using Bare Minerals.
Okay.
Usually, I would say generally those people are the people with more oilier skin, because I have seen from experience that Bare Minerals can come off looking extremely ashy if you have really dry skin. Almost always, I would say always, and it's a rule of thumb in makeup artistry, and I did not do it here, but you definitely want to use a moisturizer with your product.
Okay. Very good, because that was one thing I was going to touch on. I don't use foundation per se, but I'll put a cocoa butter on my face and throw bronzing powder on top of it.
Yes,
So
but not blessed that good skin like that.
But-
We don't need a foundation. But, honestly, and I don't generally, sometimes I may use just a bronzer on my face as well, too.
So, will the bronzer kind of give the same effect as foundation?
A bronzer is going to give you more of a glow.
Okay.
More so, not the coverage that you're looking for that you would get from a foundation.
Wow. You are doing this quick. You're transforming.
This would test for me, even for me. 'Cause I
Well, I put my moisturizer on before I came in here today, just to let you know.
Thank you. So again, we're just applying this coverage of the foundation, give you that even look on your net here, something quick and on the go. And you definitely want to try to match your foundation up. You may see a lot of people in the store, look up for me, want to put the foundation on their hand to see if it matches. But the key is no. You want to compare it to your neckline. Your hand is what's often exposed in the sun. It's going to come off a couple of shades darker than what your face will. So you kind of want to stay away from that and compare it to that of.
That's good
Of your neck.
information. Good
Definitely.
information. I never knew that.
And real quick, we're going to take along with the foundation that we apply, we're going to go with the little bronzer too. Give you that little sun-kissed glow. Bronzer is definitely one of my favorite things. And you can purchase a foundation, full coverage foundation that has a bronzer in it already too.
Oh, really?
So it's all kinds of combination of foundations out there on the market for you.
Now, if somebody had, a different kind of skin tone, do you recommend mixing two different types of foundation?
Yeah, I would definitely say you can do that. People's skin can change throughout the year. I know during the cold winter months, my skin is generally lighter than what it is in the summer months, where I may have to go back a couple of shades. I actually love tanning, so I get a couple shades darker in the summertime. And you may not find a color that's spot on for you. And I know counters such as MAC, they will go and they will mix colors for you to get that achieved or desired look that
Really?
you're going for. So that's definitely something to look forward to. So you definitely can mix.
My skin tone is a little weird, so it's kind of hard to find a foundation for my skin also. Usually
You normally mix
Yeah.
two different kinds. Okay. That is coming along good. So now you're just putting a little blush to
Putting a
the.
little blush, yep. I'm going to go back and apply a little eyeliner with the same angle brush that we used.
Okay.
Can I get you to hold that for me? Thank you kindly. I know I myself, I don't do a lot of pencils. I like to do it with a brush and powder to create somewhat of a softer look,
Yes.
if you will. Look up for it. Just real quick, and we can see the different effects there.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Sounds like we may have a call.
And how are you with red lipstick?
fine.
A little red lipstick, and this is a matte color. This is one of the top sellers from MAC, the Ruby Woo. It's one of my favorites. And it's real matte and dry, and it doesn't come off. So if you have a significant other such as mine who cannot stand to kiss me and the lipstick comes off with it, this is definitely one of those go-to colors that you want to stick with.
Okay. Say that one more time. What was the color?
Ruby Woo.
Ruby Woo.
Yep, it was actually one of Rihanna's when they came out with Rihanna's line at MAC.
All right. Wow, that really brightened you up. You look great.
Thank you. You feeling better now on camera?
Now, do you recommend lighter lip colors for?
As for me, to me, it's all in what you're feeling.
Okay.
I can wear a deep dark purple tomorrow, depending on how I feel, or I can go just as golden bright as my hair. So it's all in what you're feeling. I'm not so much as trend, whatever the trend is. Yeah, we like to be hip and on,
Okay. So, very good. So pretty much would you say it's more so for the clothing that you're wearing, or do you really want to match it to your skin complexion?
I say definitely match.